Okay, good evening again.
Yes.
Everyone comfortable? Weather's comfortable? How about you guys? Everyone comfortable in your home? If you're not comfortable, then nothing much to do. You can have choice as much as you want. Here you have not much choice. Okay. Anyway, it's wonderful to be able to come back together to a little bit meditation and practice. As always, as Buddhism, it's motivation is the most important. Anything that we do, any kind of job, if you have very good motivation to confident to do that, you can do the like it's doing very well. If you motivation doesn't like to do that or sound forced to you or you have no choice, it's difficult, right? Therefore, motivation is important. Therefore, according to Buddhism, what kind of motivation? To something benefit for all mother sentient beings, for some meaningful life. Meaningful life means I wear them my clothes, I have them my house, I have them my job, not like that. Meaningful life means, as Buddhism we say, we're already here. We have just enough to eat, food, whatever, then it's not much different than some animals live the wild. Or they have some food, they can some place, they just like that. What we do, better person. What do you mean better person? I'm a good person. You can say, right? You good person? Good person, we didn't do bad things. Yeah, one hand we say, yeah, we are a good person. It means we need to like peace mind. Are you peace mind? Or then no good person. Or open mind, or relaxed mind, or big heart. If you like that, then you become relaxed. Therefore, for us, we don't have like that kind of power. Now, what we're going to do with meditation, karma body. The karma body is like, there's a like, maybe, he said the king is karma body or wisdom or any other word, karma body, wisdom, concentration, maybe not wisdom, right? Karma body, concentration, meditation, spiritualization. Yeah, anyway, there's so many names. This is an example. In order to control for all the people, we need a very powerful president. We need a president not able to communist president. They can control for everyone, right? Just like that. Therefore, we have so many different naughty minds, like monkey minds. If we need to like same like communist president, right? Communists, they can president or the boss. I mean, they can control for all, right? Okay, the democracy, the president has not much power. No, he has protested. Therefore, like karma body is the same like communist president. Because it can control for all our minds. We like that. We want like that. No, with a common party, bad, but we need to some kind of mind able to control all the minds. Therefore, Lama Tsongkhapa is there. Common body is same as like that person control the whole mind. Therefore, we now will try to realization and meditation like that. Another example, common body is the like mountains, big rocky mountain, big rock mountain, they cannot destroy. Common body is like that. You can put anywhere, they just solid there. Therefore, our mind is like monkey mind. It's go to every direction. According to Buddhism, it's a monkey, one of the most animal not like to stay in one place, just doing something always. Therefore, our mind is like that. Now, if we realization and a common body, then we can the mind just put one object here. Okay, now I'm going to meditation. You just serious. I'm going to pray. Serious. Right now we minds here, we hear some different sounds. Oh, I forgot, maybe I closed my door. I forgot to do my job, something. Our mind's here, but our body's here, our mind's going out. Maybe Coco, what do you Coco? Get it?
Not right now.
Like that. Therefore, if it's possible, we are able to realization come our body, our mind become like that. Solid. We change, right? Then also like if you're able to do right now, you think, oh, I'm going to meditation, my mind go to different direction. You realize only something place, or you think different things, you forgot something. You remember that. It's not like that. They say, oh no, give me back like gun. Someone very good shoot a gun, they can hit anywhere, right? That. They can mind. Okay, I want to meditation, compassion. Just focus that. On meditation like loving kindness. Just focus like that. Three different meanings, right? Another one. Read that brings you most blessing, happiness, comfortable. Further way, bring the enlighten. And now I become more relaxed, more calm. Like that. This is the one the resort to our meditation to common body. You got it? Okay, you guys got it? How's my English? You have to just guess, okay, or maybe he talk about like that. You just guess. Okay, my English is finished. My English is very expensive. You cannot buy. You can buy a lot of things in Google or go Amazon, but anywhere else. 제가 지름보체가야. 정말로 맞아. 람람 냠콜. 아니 람람 냠콜다 지름보체 코는 게 냠내 가래 는 거면 굉장히 잡아요. 디나가 되게 소리가 와.
So this is the text by Lama Tsongkhapa, known as the Line of Experience. So that's the text that he wrote, from his own experience.
제가 something said there, something the same said there. 가지 잡보다 그랬어. 잡보는 땅은 단들라인 박. 가지 아니 마쇼기 봄보다 원하다 차상 컨트롤 제대로 뒤서로 버려. 샘 차상 다 보자 도요래.
So the concentration or the samadhi is like a king of the mind that can control all the mind. Just like I mentioned about the communist leader, who controls everybody like that.
아니 샘디 이 가리강라 샤샤바나고 리자보나지 가냐 르침보 주문에 그 템보지 데 파드 기주자야 말이야 양보나 사모 yes.
The concentration is a very stable mind. It's like a very stable, like a like a huge mountain. The mountain that cannot be moved easily, right? So mind, concentration is like that. When you place it on the object, it just stays there without any movement.
에 맞아 이 가리레미 와나 다락할 때가 됐어. 떠날 게 뭐 바꿔나 가와 소소히 가와 너구나 다 자도 그랬어.
And then if you want to send it, to the virtuous thought, then it can engage. It can engage in any kind of virtuous thoughts.
다나지 다 리레트로 왔다 샘레트로 얘기 대화치 문제 그랬어.
And also it grants this great bliss or pliancy of physical and mental serviceability.
아니 내가 다주라 델라 때니 아니 산제 공방 아니 샹초 무슨 어디로 가게 되고 그랬어.
And so that is the temporary benefits, and then ultimately, through that, of course, you can gain all the high realizations like the Bodhicitta, emptiness, 7 up to lot, full enlightenment.
인지기 가르고 체주대 하고와 전에 대드라시네 난조 오본나 대대 대내기 체주 네 배다 하고와 전에 냠렘 바캬수스.
And Lama Tsongkhapa said, by understanding these benefits, of the concentrations, you yogis or practitioners,
아니 남이에서 나당가도 남이에서 나 만두 샘치는 파요노 체요노 당가도 되게 그래서 나를 삼다도 와처럼 와텔라 남이라 그래. 내가 남이의 잔좀 띵에는 저도 댄스. 남이가 자도 남이에 대샤 되게 잔 정에 대 띵에는 데 대장아 준도 댄고 그랬어.
and should strive, to develop, or rely on this concentration, that is the antidote, for the delusion or or the enemy mind, distraction. So distraction is the mind that wanders all over the place all the time, thinking about this, thinking about that, and not sitting in one place and being able to practice or concentrate. And so that kind of mind, you should strive to overcome that kind of mind by the concentration.
제가 난조 봐 라모통가 방에야 된대지 냠내 제가이 하와다 탄주지 만동이 천하주 다나지 제시와 생각도 납시다.
And so Lama Tsongkhapa said, I, the yogi, practice in that way, and those of you who wishes to achieve liberation or enlightenment should follow in the same way.
Okay. 아인다 다 띵든지 팬 시도다 시도가래 팬하고 아무나 니파 시도.
So there are 4 benefits, of the concentration, right? What are they? Benefits or the potentials?
Right.
Buoyancy.
We'll go to order, okay? Okay, go fast.
Physical buoyancy, mental buoyancy.
Oh, he doesn't listen. Okay, Howard.
The same Shinjans.
No, I didn't talk about that. I just finished now. Okay, Howard.
Is focus, serviceability, peaceful. I don't know.
Okay, Bob. Get our Jennifer.
It's short-term benefits of more peaceful, stable mind, and then long-term benefits all the way up to Bodhicitta and enlightenment.
And?
Strong, stable, clear mind.
Okay, you guys doesn't listen. Anyone here? Maybe Deborah? Okay, Margaret.
Concentration is like the king that can control all other minds.
Okay, that's good. Then? Just that? Okay.
No. Then come stable like the rock. then
Okay.
you can gain bliss,
Okay.
pliancy, and can't say it, service something ability.
Last one.
Serviceability.
Yes, so much.
Mm.
First one. Okay, anyone have?
Eh?
Oh, you didn't finish yet. Okay, Michelle.
I'm not sure if this is the right thing, but I have written here that with calm abiding, one thing is you can understand reality. You cultivate positive.
No, you go to different direction. I just explain you guys. Listen, look, nobody listen. I think market get most but one doesn't get. And you think in this, and the thing that no shene de cardo never re pena. And to some chadana wanting jabu chibares, the thing in Japan.
So the concentration is like a king, that controls all the mind. That's one of the benefit of the concentration.
아, 다음에 이게 띵에는 좋다봤나? 샘타마 템포서도 그래, 자원에서도 그래.
And then the other benefit is that it is very stable. It becomes very stable, like a king of the mountain, like a huge mountain.
아, 대치 이봐자. somebody 대야 예절에 뭐예 가르래 뭐 개위 뭐 가르래 무슨 될 것도 그래.
And not only that, and then it can engage in any kind of virtuous object. So if you have concentration, you can easily engage in any kind of virtuous actions or objects.
오케이. 다 대라 때네 리 시장당 샘 시장과 대화 톱토 그래.
And then through that, then you'll be able to achieve the mental and physical pliancy.
아, 오케이. 나 again. 오케이. 하루.
It's like a king. You can focus, and like a mountain, you can be stable. And then the third one is
You bet. Okay, Mark.
So when you say king, to me that means like control, right? Serviceability, stability, and the ability to focus on any virtuous object.
That's it. Okay, Bob. You got it.
What's the last one? You was get three, right? Yeah, the king, the stability.
Okay, Jackie, you have.
The king one is like control, like it's like a king that controls your controls anything. It's like heavy like a mountain, so you can move and you can focus on any object. And then the last one's pliancy.
Yeah. Okay, how about you guys? You?
Yeah, I think he said everything.
Oh, good. How about you?
Yeah.
You follow him? Okay, Jennifer.
Like a king go on mountain for stable, and then you can focus on any virtuous activity, and then you can achieve mental and physical pliancy.
Okay, good. You guys good. Okay, now finally. Finally, this I think first market pretty good. Okay. Yeah, that's 가르는 너 하고 그래. 가는 내 가르잖아. 아니 띵에들 펜 가래요 그래서나. 오. 띵에들 다 잡아나지래다. 템포 요래다. 아니 가와고 거래다. 대라드네 대원 중거래다. 스코 라고도와.
So these are the benefits now of concentration, right? It's like a king, it's very stable, and it can be engaged in any kind of object, virtuous object especially, right? And then through that, you can achieve the mental and physical pliancies. So those are the benefits.
Okay, I'm going to next week different way question, okay? Not same question. I want to the question, same question to different ways. Next week I'm going to ask the same question but different way. You need to catch it. Okay, 그러면 나 단다 대가잖아. 딱 띵에는 그 폐에 띵에지 니바 어떤 식으로 땡리게 띵에다 땅도 검고 여러와.
So those are the benefits now of the concentration, or you can say advantages of the concentration. So we need to understand that in order to have the wish to develop that.
Oh yeah, 다 땡리 띵에다 검발라 같이 쪼고지 가세요.
And so in order to achieve that kind of concentration, what are the main obstacles?
Eh?
How many are there? How many more obstacles are there?
Energy and excitement.
5, okay.
Main obstacles.
Exactly, yeah. 5, but 2 main obstacles. Okay. Now, how many what is that? Obstacles in what you call it?
Antidote.
Antidote. It did. Are there only 5 obstacles? How become 8? Yeah, fourth one are 4, and other 4 are each one. Okay. This I'm not going to one by one. We do a little bit of meditation. Okay. Now, what are the 2 main obstacles? Okay. What means the exciting means? Different directions. That means that before I start talking, if I talk maybe half hour, you guys just go for 100. Maybe you stay here, then your mind go different way. Because how can I prove? So you guys just get the answer correctly. They should you know quality. Sorry to say. This is laxity or no? How is that? Excitement. I'm sure nobody feel here. Nobody has the laxity, but I'm sure you guys all excitement. Excitement means nami.
Excitement.
Excitement nami chibara.
I mean, that's what the distraction or excitement.
Distraction. Yeah, like that. Distraction on nami. Okay. I'm sure you guys all got that. Because if you didn't able to answer the 4 questions, I just explained. But it is not your fault. It's all of us like that. It shows how we think I'm very stable, I'm listening. If you look at me, but your eyes look at me, then your mind go different direction. 제가 나도 남주 빼졌다려라. 아니 가로 가위 몇 개다. 가로 나오는 지요. 가세. 저기다 가위 몇 가로 가위 뭐 점다 댐베 샘듯이 가위 몇 개다 지어다. 간지 아니 내리 쉐베 가로야 댐다 마도 같이 아니 개 아니 동발 딱 간나 아니 대오 가지 쪼지네 딱 어떻게 제나 안 수수 선다 가로 됐네요. 가로 샘 섬도 뱅기거다.
So I don't know if you guys remember that the way you should look at the teacher when you're receiving teaching, so like you should be very glad to see him and to hear from him, and so you look at him directly in his face, and then look with a smile, a little bit of smile in your face, so with like delightfulness in a delighted way, so you have to look at that. So then you will get really excited to receive the teachings from him or her, and then you will pay more attention. Otherwise, if you don't look at with a interest in the teacher, then your mind will go all over the place.
I'm not right. Yeah, what they say? But
Talking about that,
how to listen the teaching?
students.
Yeah, students teaching the lesson like that. Okay, I got right. If you look at me, but your mind just going different direction, doesn't work. No, this is how to meditation. And you meditation, you may be taught to meditation. You may be look at touch you, but your mind your good. This is destroy. Therefore, this is not your problem. This is all of us same. 제가 된지겠다. 네버 체주니다. 시험하다 개반이로와.
So those are the 2 main obstacles, right? The excitement and laxity.
Okay. 어떻게 하고 티나닝아도 단단하고 내 동호가 딱 거봐서 돼. 남이 거봐도 남이 진짜 내가 좀 할까지 대패 네가 좀 볼. 되게 가운데 치료.
And especially for the beginners like ourselves, among these 2, the excitement or the distraction, is the main obstacle. So we have to make a really strong effort to overcome these 2.
아 대니라 파 갑대장에서래. 다 전바도 시시가 와.
And what are the antidote, so for these 2, the excitement and laxity, is introspection and mindfulness, right?
That's good. Okay, that's tongue of Gomjagenda. That we not talk too much. We do meditation. Okay, otherwise we didn't go. We already finishing. And those are because some to Baba Gomsa. No, but Gomsa.
So you meditated up to the fifth, is it fifth mental stage?
Almost to the formless.
And then top and the same joba, gentle joba, leaden joba, neuron joba, Toresha I'm to tap bus.
And so you're doing the the 9 stages of the mind. That's the starting with the placing the mind, and then placement, with continuity, and then patch-like placement, and then you'd have the fourth one is the close placement, and then the fifth one is the controlling. So you have gone up to that, right?
I think it's some time you want to bena. Tuba tema when I should get an I'm Joe tour, and the Suzu was some tower, and it didn't take Tembe, Majevachi, or the Nibarat in the Tokoration to cover up Sayamba.
And then the placing the mind comes from the power of hearing to the teaching, from the teacher, and and try not to forget, and establishing the object, to meditate on, and try not to forget the object, right?
Okay, Tuchenata, Alingato Tuchera Tanga Karatana, Nebachi, the Shema to Gepaniamba.
And so, like the biggest obstacles, the faults of the mind are the laxity and excitement, right?
And Gopa says that take out of the Gopa said the Kanjanami, they injim in the Chak Chapo, the Chak Chapon, the Chak Chapo Chagori.
So excitement is also a distraction, it's a distraction, but it has to be a distraction in relation to the attachment. So it has to be, like distracted towards the attached, towards the object of attachment.
And the Shima said the Yamana Gava, Yamana Lumatic Sem Chagore. They under Gomjang, some kind of Yamdo on the year.
And the laxity, is either virtuous or a neutral mind, and it usually comes all the time together, with meditations.
And the thing in the Chavate, that's Semni Shiva, Ungabe comes Kuman Chatomari, Nibashara Chatomari.
So this manifests, the laxity starts to manifest only when you're on the 4th or 5th stage. Before that, you will not even have that.
And the Semni Simbe Kablayanga to Sem the Garu Tempochene, any other Pariwa, and in Sembati to Sem the Nagi Manduaji Kusu Dabu Jatoyo.
And so during the 3rd Sumbakapswe,
our Simbecaps, Sem the Simbecaps, what? Oh, Lem Job cut.
And so during the 3rd stage of the mind, one is able to hold the mind, hold the object more stably and with the mindfulness.
And it tembe top jet, tembe the shoot chimbochane. Tene Paji and Goparaba the Paji Yongomare.
And then, so that's when you have that the power of mindfulness. You develop the power of mindfulness, and I think you will no longer have the gross excitement. But the subtle excitement is still there.
Tanda Semnanga Kalaya, and it touch Shima the Shuchambo, any Shijin the object, Shijik Tolan, Shima the Mabasori, Shimarapa.
And so then during the 5th stage of the mind, the laxity becomes more strong. And at that time, you have to develop introspection, to overcome that.
가르치는 샘내 숨바다 시바가 템바다 슈 체체니야 샘도전 아니야 샘도 템바다 슈 체스네 양말 바 뉴제냐 고마 샘지 녀대가 샘내 암 체타네야 안 시와요 이까 연자 아니 시지가 똑제네 아 샘이야 양 빨고 띵이 연대 삼고 되는 거지.
And so during the 3rd stage, the mindfulness is very strong, that it starts to like hold the object too strong, that then the mind goes into lethargy stage, like where mind kind of falls sleeping like that, because it's like very engrossed, on the object. And at that time, then that's when the laxity is coming up, right? And so then you have to develop this mind called introspection, that is watching, and say, oh, this is happening, and then you develop, the mind that that helps, to come out of it, come out of that laxity.
아저씨 다디가라 아니 고파 참모 영화가 다 도바고 내가 때려야 되네. 다 내가 쉬지 못하요 말이야.
가득 없어.
아 근데 샘능아와도 두 배값, 나배 값래.
So then during the fifth stage, there is the subtle excitement there. There's the growth is almost no longer there, but the subtle is still there.
Okay, 다 검증한다. Okay, now we're going to meditation. Okay, today we're going to be a little longer, but not longer. We do short terms, couple more times. Okay, that's how to meditate. 근데 검대 단단하도 내 담보 어서래야 검 테마 마트지. 되게 뒤도 지나 때도 야한 거지.
So for the beginners like ourselves, it is good to do many meditations, but for a short time. Each time you do, you do it for a short time.
Okay, 다 시당에 가서 저는 쉬자 임바. 근데 리남나게 취되는 가서 가서 뭐 쉬자로 와.
So we have already talked about the 7 postures of the Vairochana, right?
다들 양좀 먹어봤지.
No need
아니
to
다
go again.
미바대양 가지 딱 가서 남바이 미찬이 아니 산지 좀 되고 어떻게 좀 거지.
And then our object, is like has been advised, should focus on Buddha's statue.
다때 소소고 남주 가래고 가는 시리즈 제대로 막 가래 겁난데 그래. 제가 맞지 맞지. 가디 띵에도 곰고 갈라 집바 곰고.
Any kind of Buddha statue, either the Tara or Chiresi or Buddha Shakyamuni, or whatever you choose, you just hold on to one object all the time. Don't keep changing it.
담보 검갈때 이제 세워요 답치 먹어. 딱 꾸차상 단에 주는 건 통한 같이 저 강발라고 가까마다 그래서 다 그게 계실런도 섬처럼도 대해서라고 산지 좀 되대서. 근데 주고 나 봐이 맞지. 나 첨부도 많이 봤던 내고 보고 살아.
And so when you focus on the Buddha statue, you don't have to have all the details, about the parts of the statue, like the ear, nose, eyes, and so forth. You don't have to have that details. Just have the whole image, of the statue, and that also have in like a little bit of in a heavy form or weight, having more weight. And just like when you see the Geshe, you just look at him, and you feel that you see the whole of Geshe, not like going through each and every part of Geshe, just like that. Like when you're seeing him, just like that, you look at the statue of the Buddha or Chinesi or Tara that you are using as object of your calm abiding meditation now.
Okay, like that. Okay, now we're going to meditation. Okay. At first, maybe you could be breathing meditation. It's breathing because we already our mind very exciting. I just put you together in one. Okay, put your hand in the position and breathe in and out. You look even whatever you like. Just your mind focus there. Okay, I'm breathing in, breathing out. You have to count yourself. Okay, not lose. Until like 10. Start now, okay? Your own breathing. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, like that. Okay, now visualization in front of you with this image, as I explained before. How to your mind focus that height, but to not lose. If you lose, bring back. Okay, which obstacle more, excitement or lesty? Don't excitement. Okay, it shows you are not able to move to stage 5 or 6. Usually, no, don't push yourself. Okay, or no, it's just a walk. Okay? You don't need to like it's just a walk. Okay, get taught to relax again. Okay, you taught again. Okay, it's same object as Buddha's image. It's not if you're not comfortable, you can do any objects. Okay, anyway, one object, anything your mind. 100% order your minds. Just focus there, okay? Try again, okay? Try to sit comfortable as much as you can. Ready? Okay. Getting better? Okay. Again, okay. Same thing. Want to water? Getting less with laxity? Okay, this is, when you feel very something to be, oh, that's good. Well, to stop, that's it. That time stop. Because you like to do more. You try to do long term, you still try. You try, but you don't want to do anymore. Or some they say you to do more times. Okay? We're going to try to do again, okay? Still, if you have laxity and excitement, you're not able to move 5th or 6th. When you are not that, you don't feel strong, then we move, okay? Okay. Now again, you guys got it? Just meditation, anything, your object, you see, okay, you find. Or to something, if you're not comfortable to Buddha's image, you can do anything, okay? Ready? Not looking everywhere, just focus. Okay, how's it? Too much? Too long? Okay. 아니, 전조 변화. 그래서 셈미발라 떼요 같이. 야, 잘로들 양치 예심바지 로코딩에 수순 거서대.
So, did any of you have, like, you're able to concentrate on the object, but then there's something like still kind of going on in the back of your mind? Did you feel like that while you're being able to concentrate or focus on the object?
Got it? tele gopa tamu la kare, gopa tamu.
And so if you still have that, then that's called the subtle excitement.
아니, 전조 셈미 밑에 가라 샤다, 야나티 잘로도 셈바지 샤다 와서 다네 고파 타무 세대.
So even though you're able to focus on the object, but then there's something kind of appears on the back of your mind, and that is the subtle excitement.
Okay. 어떻게 응원에 딘데기 고파 타무 데다 셈는 응아와 누가 감아질래 또 말해.
So like, while being able to focus on the object, right? So that one occurs in only like maybe 5th or 6th stage of the mind.
아나 템바디 슉 쳔보 셈네 스베가 템바 톱 쳔보진데 셈네 쉐베가 템베 톱 조르 템바 데라야 째고 말 거다 리도.
So the mindfulness, you develop it, from the 1st stage all the way to the 3rd stage, And during the fourth stage, your mind is already, the mindfulness, you have already mastered in mindfulness. So your mind, you have already achieved the mindfulness, and you will not forget. There's no risk of forgetting your object. So while being able to focus on the object with the mindfulness, even though you're very mindful about the object, but then still something appears in the back of your mind, and that's called the subtle excitement. And then when you're meditating on the object, do you feel like your object is very clear to you, and you're quite strongly holding to the object, but then sometimes it feels like it's becoming loose? Do you feel like that? And so that is the gross laxity. So that becomes strong during the fifth stage of the mind. And then like while you are still, your object is, you are focused on the object, the object is clear to you, but then after some time you feel kind of it's not really losing the object, but then you kind of falling asleep, feeling sleepy, while you're still holding the object. Does it occur to you? If that does, then that's the laxity, because the rabare tamore. So it's just a subtle laxity. So it's the object is clear, it's stable, but kind of fades away. Then that's called the subtle laxity.
Okay. So
that kind of subtle excitement and subtle laxity only occurs during sixth and seventh stage of the mind. And so especially like during the sixth stage, the mind, the subtle excitement, there's a risk of the subtle excitement, and there's a risk of subtle laxity during the seventh stage of the mind. If there's a risk, it doesn't mean but it occurs.
And
And then during the first sixth stage, from the sixth stage, then the power of the introspection, is completed. So after that, you don't need to have laxity, and you don't have to make effort to have introspection anymore. And then so during the seventh stage, the power of the mindfulness and introspection is completed. So it's completed, and then so from then on there will be no more excitement and laxities. And so but you still have the subtle laxity and excitement, and so then you use the effort. You develop the power of effort, through that, then you cause the no budget to marina lelagors.
가지 레바이나 부자 갑자기 장애로데 아니 거 가로 소리 topic 받지는 것이.
So there is a risk, of manifesting the subtle laxity and the excitement, but it's not necessary that it will come. So there's a risk of coming, and if it comes, then you can overcome it. With the power of effort, joyous effort.
Okay. 두 번만 시작해야다.
So now the 6th and 7th has been already explained. And so this is explained quite in brief, in the liberation in the palm of your hand. Now we're going to do the homework from last week, okay? So the question was, how do you develop or enhance the mindfulness and introspection, right? Is that the question?
There was the second question. How do you increase the mindfulness and introspection?
Okay. What's the fourth question?
The first one was, when does introspection occur?
Oh, yeah. Do we, have we not finished, right? Do you guys find anyone find? So Kaza tell him, yes, why?
Did you guys find anything else than that? So in the Lamatsanghapa's Lamrim, right? The great stage of the path to enlightenment. So you need to have the mindfulness and introspection while doing the meditation, right? But then there's a false in saying that they occur during the meditation, right?
Okay. Any other text? Yes.
What? I don't remember what text. I read like a bunch of books. One of them said it's during meditation. It might have been, I don't think it was Mature, but like just like if you're walking, right, you're talking to a friend, you can be fully listening, but you could see a ditch. Your mind has different levels, and one part of it can be focused, alert.
참고전에 제 요말에 나바시 제를 레와서 잘 같아. 안들 나한테 집안에 산 것도 때문에 집안에 고요 말.
So like I mentioned before, that the sentient beings, they can only have one mind manifesting at a time, right? So we feel like we can do all the things together, like we can see and listen at the same time, but no, it's not happening at the same time.
안도배나 무비라고 따오나 그게 무비가 액션 제와 무비 동거를 깨져고 거기다. 완전히 집안 때문에 집안에 고요 말해.
So like when we are watching a movie, you can see the action and you can listen to the dialogues, right? And we think we're listening and we're looking, we're seeing and listening at the same time, but it's not.
같이 대에는 나라만 로서도 매화처럼 나라만 로서 시간도 요거 얼굴이 나라 때문에 요사 매화처럼 그래.
If that is the case, then there will be no inattentive, mind. Like in the mind and awareness, we talk about the inattentive mind, like the object that appears but not ascertained, like the mind, to which the object appears but not ascertained. So that kind of mind, that we posit will not be valid, if the two objects, can, if the two mind can manifest at the same time.
제대로는 드리발아야 나시에다 무시니까 이치를 뒤치는 죽으래서나 이렇게 갈라 그래.
So what will the science? What will the scientists say? Can the eye consciousness and the ear consciousness manifest at the same time? What will they say?
다음에 가래 나오면 제대다 제대가도 남의 주셔지나 아니 이치라야 넘버시바 니가도 섬절라 지는 조도 말해서 대매제다 다 곰자디고 갈아야 주대 서도봐야 짓다 되나?
You'll tell us whether you call it.
유출라.
두직러라.
야,
율카가라.
아니 욕하가 봐지. 시반이 뒤치는 것도 봤어. 야,
And so, and according to Buddhism, it is said that the sentient being's mind cannot, see two different things at the same time, or and perceive two different things at the same time.
do you guys have any other different sources? Yes.
I was wondering if then what Lama Prabhupada is saying is that you know, it's not like you stop your concentration, you have to apply the introspection at that time. If it's for a more advanced meditator, and that you actually have to kind of develop introspection outside of your meditation, like you have to engage in the practices to increase in development. But it could be a non-manifest mind, like at the time.
So
응원도 마주고네 유튜브 베이스 거다.
no. Let's sleep in mind.
Can I ask a question? What is introspection? It's not listed among the 51 mental. It's interesting because non-introspection is listed as one of the 20 secondary afflictions, but introspection is not listed among either the object ascertaining mental factors or the
한번 가려워.
virtuous.
셰신데 섬중합중 하지 않으면 두서. 셰신 많이 받은 섬중합중 하지 두서.
아, 시시 많이 받아야 한다. 디 로션에 시시 차대다.
If there's a non-introspection, then the opposite of that will be the introspection.
내가 제고 대 이제. 오케이. 제단 네셔널 가제는 아니 왜쯤 말해서 가제 안다 곰쟁 선포도 투대시고 되는 루마데기 시바지레스 야무나 게서 못 오래스
거의 셰신데.
아 시제다 말마 시와 마팅가 카운터스 시제세데 딱까지 샤라징 땅에 돼 딱 가르치는 법은 플리소서로 보다 가왔다 되는
So the introspection is like a spy or police, right? That's looking at the mind, seeing what it is doing, where it's going, what it's doing, like that, right?
제가 다 가지 다 세빙 아주 가게네 가게 전하면 가들 대존 렉도 저도 고도야 돼.
So whether it's in the mental factor or not, but do you see the point? Do you see the fault in this mind? The introspection arising at the time when you're doing the meditation.
당에 나라가 고안에다 제나 고 맞게 변해야. 근데 야 꿀로야 보지. 또 숙체무 주셔봤나? 곰제베 칼라야. 시와가 뭐 가려나 갑자기 자도 바지 레고 청. 바지 테레이사 청. 고 맞게 변해라.
So from what I understand, is that I think if you have a very strong motivation, of that introspection, before you meditate, before you start meditate, and then if you have prepared that very strongly before you meditate, then during the meditation, whatever the faults, the mind, like the excitement or laxity arise, will be, let's say, can be overcome by the introspection.
제장아도 변화 고다만이와 산중가 치도 시발야 랑가선 따다샤나 냐마 최세 매베 갑라야 하나 고따다 나도 따다 미사마 레디 차잖아 강가 최세라 와 고셔와.
Like if you have a strong motivation, then that can, intention or motivation beforehand, then that can, help, to have that kind of mind at the time when you're doing the meditation. So just like if you have a very strong thought, so I have to wake up, at 4 o'clock in the morning, then your mind, because you have very strong thought, to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, your mind, you will just wake up at 4 o'clock. But nowadays, people are spoiled by the the easiness of the alarm clock, right? So unless you set up the alarm, you will not be able to wake up.
냐마 변화 최세 매베 가가 미도도 참고 최세 따다 랑게라 내가 뜨고 따가 제리어 거든. 랑게요 말와.
Before, when people didn't have the alarm, clock, an alarm with them, they wake up at the time that they're supposed to wake up, right? Because they set a mind in the night before they go to sleep. So I'm going to wake up at this time. then they wake up at that time.
제가 나도 엄마한테 GPS 매우 가는 것도 뭐라 가원에 땅 줘요. 다 단다 GPS면 나도 빈조 마셔 차던도.
So just like before, you had the GPS, you can drive, and go to places, right? You can do that. But now you should be able to do that. But now, like, you feel like you have to follow the GPS all the time.
제가 나도 섬나 가세파 가고 짱나다야 꼭 수주고 제나 그 제요서 제가 딱 가는 거 섬도 제와이나 아제 곰 맞제 냥라야 된디고 콜로야 뭐 얘도 제매가 마셔 제야인 아니 가로 이섬 유티 간에 섬도 마이와 제인 아니 마셔 제가서 콜로야 보지면나 그때인데 봐지 얘도 그래.
And so, like, if you want to strict, the mind, then you can do it. You can make it strict, and the mind will follow that. But if you want to spoil it and then let it be by itself, then you can do that too. But anyway, so from my understanding is that if you have a strong introspection and mindfulness before you start the meditation, and then says before you start, I'm not going to forget, and I'm not going to have this distractions and like that. And then when you do the meditation, then that will help to not forget the object and not have distractions like that.
Okay. Yes.
My question is, so you're saying that you couldn't have another mind. The reason you can't have the introspection during the meditation, because you're saying that, well, then you're not focusing on your object if you've got introspection. But what about, I mean, you're going to have at least 5 mental factors present.
또 간가 지대 간가 안 초대 남아가 소리 봐. 된다고 말. 간가 미사 찍는 거 봐.
So there's a different, the different kind of mind. Those are all concomitant minds, right? And so if you use a concomitant mind, then you're looking at the same object, same object, right? But these two minds here, are not looking at the same object. One is looking at the object of meditation, and one is looking at the mind that is meditating.
Okay. Yes.
So I understand what you're saying, that you can only have one main object at the same time. And I understand what you're saying about setting a strong motivation and concentration beforehand. But the text seems to say something slightly different that I don't understand. This one piece here is from Lama Tsongkhapa, quotes from stages of Kamalashila, the second stages of meditation. It says, after you thus set your attention on whatever your chosen object of meditation may be, fix it there continuously, which is what Geshe was saying. But then it says, while you stay right with the object, analyze and investigate your mind, thinking, is my mind apprehending the object of meditation well, or is it lax? Or is it distracted by the appearance of external objects? So I don't understand. That seems to say the opposite.
Yeah.
But I do understand the reasons that you're saying.
다 때는 가도 고알래고 다 내가 이제나 아제 잡 심을 가르쳐한테 따오라로.
So then, according to this text, it's saying that you have to check your mind whether it's having the distraction or not, or whether it's focusing on the object or not, while doing the meditation, right?
That's what it seems to say. That's how I understand it.
Maybe why the meditation? Maybe you take with a while the meditation take out.
So if you think like that, while doing the meditation, then your mind will not be able to meditate on the object that you're supposed to focus on, right?
Okay, this is we cannot finish, but you can also check this question which one more makes sense. Okay, how this homework? Okay, how to develop and mindfulness and what we call reflection. Okay, who you find? Do you find anyone?
No, yes,
So
Deborah, you had something?
I just had
Okay.
a comment about Geshe-la's assertion. So our minds are so fast that we can just move, introspection can arise, and in less than a second, see something and go back to the focus. So I don't think it's a distraction. It's much more likely that we're going to be distracted and not notice it if we don't apply it.
대연한 게 있잖아, 라이바. 고바 참고해야 돼. 고바만 좀 하고 있으면 나 듣고 니바 티셔. 되는 니바라고.
So that would be like the subtle excitement, your mind is distracted somewhere else and then, come back. So the subtle excitement doesn't feel like the distraction, but it is a distraction. So what you're saying is sounds like a subtle distraction, subtle
See,
excitement.
introspection can be so quick because our minds are so fast. Introspection won't upset our concentration much because it's so quickly applied and then withdrawn and focus again.
제가 고바 처음부터 그거만 용 말해. 쇼좀 찍어 좀 남도 록 때지 되면 용 말해.
Yeah, the subtle excitement is like that exactly. It's very short time, just like turn off and turn on the lights like that.
Yeah, there's no excuse because if say 고바 처음부터 그 예바 찍으면 나도 장라도 용 초월해.
So if the subtle excitement is not a fault, then what you are saying can be okay.
그러나 나도 그러나 삼년 순반 시간에 아니 미바지도 라 도구나 라 시그마 배전에 라비로 라가 말이지. 이나다나 고바 처음 용 거야. 고바 처음 계속 뭐지 쭉좀 용 거야 말다.
So it says that from the fourth stage, you will never forget the object, right? That means you can always remember the object. You'll have the object in your mind. You'll be always mindful of the object, but you still have the subtle excitement. So what is the subtle excitement? That's for a very short time. Your mind goes somewhere else for a very short time. That's what the subtle excitement is.
Therefore, your doesn't work. Okay, now how
I
to
don't
do
understand how introspection is subtle excitement. It's just observation. It's just knowing what's going on in your mind. It's not excitement or lethargy. It's just observation.
쉐신데 다 간대전에 가도기 간대전에 뭐서도 쉐신데 간대전에 더 고발했어 그랬어. 쉐신도 그러던 셈이 보라스. 그때는
시지 고바 말. 시지 고바라고 말다. 고바 참모. 고바 차라니도.
쉐신에 간대전 고발한 거랬어 그랬어 뭐.
시지 고바 참으라고 말다. 시지 고라 가리. 시지 고바 참모 말해. 고바 참모서야 돼. 셈니 나와 갑래기 용거래. 제가 얘나 셈나 나와는 아니 미바치는 쇼가 막 쇼스티기 말네.
뭐라다 쉐신 가서 뭐 쉐신께 쉬었다. 쉐신랑 쓰거다. 그래서 내가 검접에 가서 쉐신 용쓰고 말쓰고 그랬어. 뭐지네 용쓰고 그랬어. 가서 쉐신의 셈도 조보 쉬죠 그랬어. 아니 쉐신 탁래 되는 탁도 도서 그랬어.
제가 탁들래 시지가 탁 놓서라. 놓서다 그때 고바 참모 집발해서.
So yeah, so I mean, when you are, when you are having that mind of the introspection manifesting, right? Even for a very short time, at that time you have lost, the mind, that's focusing on the object, right? Because you can't have two minds at the same time, two minds at the same time, focus on a different object at the same time. So, therefore, even though it's not distraction, but even though it is introspection, but it is like a, excitement because it interrupts the meditation for a very, very short time that we can't even, calculate.
Okay, now next one. Okay, how to develop concentration, temper, mindfulness. How to develop. Yeah,
Enhance, like improve.
Improve. Okay. Any text? You got any source?
I didn't see anything in the text. The answer, but it would be my own answer.
Okay, what are you on it?
Well, just like any other thing you want to cultivate, you're just doing it constantly. You're being mindful, and it becomes a habit.
Okay. Right. Everyone?
I saw a couple of references. One would be, I think also quotes Shantideva in chapter 5 regarding alertness. It says that through staying in the company of spiritual masters, through the instructions of abbots, and through fear, mindfulness will easily be generated. Fortunate people who practice with respect. Also, that also talks about the causes of laxity and excitement as being lack of vigilance, not oversleeping, being
Yeah.
So
This is the cause. Yeah.
if you didn't, I mean, those would reduce laxity and excitement. they don't increase mindfulness and introspection, but you would, if you,
Okay. 뭐가 담아도 갈라고 담아도.
The first one is what you said, listening to the guru's advice.
in verse 30 and chapter 5, and guarding alertness, in Shantideva's
가리려는 가래.
My Shanti Deva Gita is alertness and that is the Sheshin said it.
알레 쇼juk.
Junju Dunga.
Okay.
yeah, the vigilance.
Okay.
So guarding your alertness.
Yeah, when mindfulness dwells at the gate of the mind for protection, then vigilance will appear, introspection will appear. That's another verse from that chapter.
And you said what do you do to enhance it, improve it?
This chapter says, staying in the company of spiritual masters and through the instruction of habits and through fear, mindfulness will easily be generated in fortunate people who practice with respect.
나만은 교회신인도 대가를 년받는 제발나 안대 지나도 용으로
오케이.
어디 맞아 베사겠다 저 가서 그 공부 통과했어야 되는 서로 삼례들이 내가 가서 맞아 차이랬어.
Okay, good. Yeah.
What I saw was that it said that do longer sessions where you allow yourself to have laxity and excitement without correcting them. If you do that, you'll develop bad habits, and it'll take you much longer to develop laxity and excitement. So you have to apply the antidote right away, and you have to keep the session short enough that you're able to do it.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. You guys have it? Rika, you have something?
Yes. It's from Lamarin Chenmo. Mindfulness is by repeatedly reminding ourselves. And for the introspection, he says, the way to strengthen your introspection, which notices laxity and excitement, is to lock your attention on the object of meditation without distraction, and then to monitor it. That's what he said. In the Lamarin.
temba디 되네 가서 가서 양양의 공백거네 되네 temba디 끼리스 telami what they were going and session that's what was the introspection.
Introspection, he says, the way to strengthen your introspection, which notices laxity and excitement, is to lock your attention on the object of meditation without distraction, and then to monitor it. Realize that if you have repudiate such a procedure by thinking, so just lock it and monitor it. That's what he says.
That's also the yula jugne the next the karsa same language and tela chik karsa characha.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, Michelle, I saw your hand.
This isn't from a text, but I was thinking a lot in meditating and thinking about mindfulness. And I would think if you focus on your intention of being Bodhicitta, that if that's your intention and you really focus on that, I would think that would possibly help improve your mindfulness.
Okay. Any other people have? Okay, Margaret.
So mine's not from textbook either. I don't have textbook to quote form, but I think from I've been trying from my own experiences, to the daily practice, to have the regular practice, and the setting up of the preparation before meditation. This whatever that works for you. Like for me, like setting up the place, setting up even if it's a temporary altar, but having a picture to before meditation to just focus on, that's my object. I've chosen that object, my object of meditation. I study the object before I begin. So that places my mind, helps me to place the mind on it, right? So that's determining, mindfulness to me is determining what I want to meditate on. So sometimes like studying the object, remembering it first, and then, even with qualities of the image. Then once you sit down and meditation, because you try to stay just on the image. And introspection to me is kind of like checking the quality of your meditation. So mindfulness is determining what I want to meditate on. And then introspection is how well am I meditating? So I think we have said a lot about how introspection can happen quite quickly, but when we do introspection, we actually did lose the image, but if it's stable, we come back quite quickly. And that's my experience. Thank you.
그래, 나 몰아서는 나 당부 대리쳐야 되랬어. 그런 것도 나는 가서 나 초강하고 대리쳐야 돼. 소소 대사를 대리쳐야지. 아니 다 고바르다 다 고다를 따지. 다 들어야 못 따지 되는 건버자. 들어다디 가서 되게 되는 템바디 가서 여러 다니랬어. 아니 되네 다들라 되네 다디 검자도 그는 검다다 자기도 믿어 삼대버 되게 되네 되네 세신 여러 다니랬어.
Okay. Okay, Jackie.
This is just my personal observation from meditating. I think I would offer that protecting my mind and body and speech is really important and as a preparation for cultivating and increasing mindfulness and introspection, especially in the world that we live in, that there's so many things that could my way, and being in a space or being in an environment with people that allows me to protect my mind for my practice is very important.
알아서
아무 고면서죠.
때들어도 거스나 고치바지만 라스다 수수샘다 보자니 빠지는 라이서데.
라레 자. 너네들하고 그냥 여보 계좌고 고면도 최도도.
Okay. To add in what's been said.
Okay. How are you guys? You guys say anything? Beyond guys?
The same object.
Okay. Jennifer?
I found one other source in the Buddhist classics, in the second volume, said that mindfulness arises from companionship with a virtuous friend, listening closely to the instructions taught by a learned master, and having a sense of shame and fear of being reproached by others, respecting holy persons.
It's like maybe copy for Lam Chemo. Okay, that's the hour. Tanda Rika Chuloso, that Terry.
So according to the text, it's just like what Rika read.
Yeah. 안에 단다 자라돌라도 다 소소고 가리 곰고나 아니 유텔라야 야네 yan다 셈티칼라야 샤와 마지바체들라다 다 다르네 데 미세고 제주도 그마 얘 가리면은 데 마지바지 가디 일라와나 야조 데카가 소소세마 곰비시야 곰비 가디지다는 제가 말해.
Yeah, so of course, the way to enhance it or improve it, is just by being mindful about the object. So you might forget, and then you come back, and then you remember the object again, and you might forget, and you come back, and just getting yourself, familiar with the object as much as possible. So more familiar you get with the object, then more stable it will be in your mind, and then it will be less forgetting of the object.
This is mindfulness.
Like that, it's like that, you know. Question, the drama, you got memorize part one pretara. You have to very focus. Do you really focus, or you just recite, just go automatic? Yeah. Without thinking, you just recite, just go through. Yeah. Or maybe other example, you guys typing very fast, right? You're not first from that. First, I'm sure you're also looking like me, just looking like that. Right now, like that. Because you mind very first. Similar part, comedy, kata shuchi machawani, similar part, jirura. Ane then ko temba tamo chando. Ane kali jago mar. Semne shiwa ngawal temba kali jago mar. Temba kono shuchi top shetando.
So it's just getting familiar with the object or get accustomed, to the object. So more accustomed you are with the object, then more mindful you'll be of the object. You'll be easily remember. And so that's like this. So from the first stage, the second stage, you make this effort, to remember the object, all the time. And then during the fourth stage, you're remembering. Your memory is so strong. The remembering, is so strong that you will not forget another object at all. You will always remember it because of being, familiar with the object.
You guys like similar. This with try to more familiarize. For you to more effort. Then they will just stop that.
I think the question was a little confusing because for me, I interpreted it as how do you develop mindfulness in general, but it sounds like the answer was related to how do you develop mindfulness of this specific object of meditation.
Yeah. Inje the object karena gaje de shene gom kabla ya temba de shi kaniya jitango teroda.
Yeah, so same thing, is when you say the mindfulness of what? Of the object that you're meditating on.
But yeah, you get familiarize with more and more.
That object, more and more. Yeah. Particularly any objects that. About something like Bodhicitta, kindness, compassion, emptiness, all like that. You don't have to much focus. First, you need to very focus, right? Very effort, focus. Then you don't have to much pay attention. Jada kaje soso yedala komji chia, yela komji chia. Tele la mi se paje dela ko sewji mendu tanda chance pecha lo so dana iresha.
Yeah, being accustomed, with the object, is the way you way to develop the mindfulness. There's no other than that.
Okay. I think today also Mark. Good job. You just guess it. No, just kidding. And the nyoto and gonyo tawori part do cheba ina gonyo tawori na taw do jine pecha lo yang so samlo ta kane ju ta na ani semno kombi chadu ani tempo chadu wa.
So yeah, of course, it's confusing, like you said, but anyway. So when you do the mindful, the way to develop the mindfulness or enhance the mindfulness is just by, getting familiar with it. So just repeating, the reading about that, or focusing on that, and then by doing that, you get more and more familiar. Then more familiar you become, then less chance of forgetting it.
제가 내전에 아니 템포잖아 미 소소 샘나 샘다 쳐걸 마셔 소소 샘다 쳐면 지 미치긴 나올 오데임 버튼 야 샘바 오데임 버튼 소소 샘나 가로.
So more familiar you become, then more certain you will be. So you'll be then when you are certain about that, then you can you know what it is exactly. Otherwise, when somebody says, "Oh, this way," then you go that way, and then somebody says that way, then you go that way. So you'll be confused.
Okay. Yes.
What is Shantideva and Lama Papa and the other sources they have? What do they mean by that? Mindfulness arises from companion with the virtuous friends and listening closely to instructions.
내가 다 간지 주도지라기나 그 가지나 전화라 전소 책이라 이 제거다 대 지하면 그 따다 가지나 소소 맞잖아 이거 조금씩 전화 제대로다 아니 돼 거야지 단 거로 봐.
So like the company will remind you, right? You're the Dharma friends, your Dharma brother sister, they will do it, and then they'll say, oh, you have to do this way, you have to do this way. they remind you. So when they remind you, then you will remember, and then that helps to increase your memory.
remind 정해지거나 되게 소소 계획을 줘봐요 평균에.
So if there's somebody who reminds you, then that helps you to do the things that you're supposed to do, right? And then that
remind 맞잖아요. 소소가 받다사지 지도 오. 그때 제가 그는 소소 맞잖아. 그딱 받잖아. 소소 남이 얘기되잖아. 그 녀만 딱 받잖아. 그냥 소소 뭐라고 했나. 그 맞잖아지 잘 그래.
And so if the company does it and you don't do it, so you see that the person your company is doing it all the time, and so that then makes you feel like, oh, he's doing it, so I should do it too. Or like if you're like lazy and not doing it, and then you see him doing it all the time, he's making so much effort in doing it, and then you feel embarrassed, and say, oh, he's doing it all the time, so I should do it too. Like then that helps you to do it also.
Okay.
One question. So when I was meditating,
Okay.
and thinking of heaven, for a split second, it felt real. And it was a little uncomfortable. I didn't like that feeling.
Then don't do that.
But is
I'm
that
kidding.
if you're really, really focused and it starts to feel real, and it's like,
I don't know. What do you meditation? Object. What object?
what object was I thinking of?
Yeah.
For sure.
Then there's nothing wrong. 아니 대체나 지삼다다지 지면 대응원이잖아 요 맞다 야만나 진짜 소사고 이러
가르치야서 거기.
공고를 뭐 지금 남 검잡라 삼수랑 감라 제가 도사 대고 미사.
Yeah, maybe I mean you can choose the different objects, but sometimes that maybe it requires more merit for you to be able to do that, and when you don't have ample merit, then that can cause this kind of obstacles.
대 앞에나 라프 남았다야 말이 시외 남았다 고면 강고면데.
And then also like that's the different aspect. You can meditate on wrathful aspect or peaceful aspect. You should maybe for the beginners it's better focus on the peaceful aspect rather than the wrathful aspect.
Okay. Okay. 다 던져 주마 호모도 줘야 된다. 샘내 당보도 니바도 선바도 쉐와 나와도 두 배bara 쉐와 때때 가르가르 요래시.
So now the question for the next week, is the difference between the stages of the mind. So from the first stage to the second stage, what is the difference? What do you have on the first stage, and then on the second stage, what do you get? And then what do you have on the second stage, which you didn't have on the first stage, like that, So there's difference between the first and second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh, like that.
I'm gonna go 9.
고마워도 레벨이 더 먹었지 그랬어. Because we have only gone up to 7th, so so only up to 7th.
Okay. There are so many different methods. Just try to find some difference, okay? That you can read the text. Text is very clear. Which text? The text is yeah, you are the text. Yeah. That one is very clear. You have text also that. Maybe I'm not talking about also very true. Too extensive, maybe we don't find much. Right? Okay, then we stop. Thank you. Okay, next week also another question. Okay, remember, I'm going to ask a different way what the benefit. Okay.
Turn to page 39 for Thanksgiving month offering. He perfection make of from pre-affliction needed and parties, engaging to think to one ye, Gokun Nabda Cheng Lacher Partial, Jetun Lame Kutserap Tenching, Nam Katrin Le Chokchu Gipada, no Sam Ten Pedro Nesa Sungi, Groe Mutso Tatu Net Yurchi. Ida Pururatna Padavaka Piryataya From my two collections, vast in space, that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind's wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread and declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted boundless peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this great course to enlightenment completed due to the wondrous, virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. In that snow mountain in the circle, I am the source of every benefit and joy. May Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chenrezig be made in life till samsara zen. Savior of the Snowland Teachings address migratory beings, who extensively clarifies the path of unifies emptiness and compassion. The lotus in the hand, Lord Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be fulfilled. Page 49, the short long life prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers honoring the free tools, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. Page 57, prayer of dedication. Through this virtue may I swiftly and Buddha's day. Teach and every sentient being, without exception, in that day. Precious Supreme Bodhi mind, may it bear unborn arise, and wherefore never decline, but increase forevermore. 75, Mitzvah. Limite vitace generis, Viende Vaco Jantelia, Angente me Sugen Sokava, Gosandrante Jata Sopane.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Shalom.
Thank you, Geshe.
How to live a meditation.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank
Thank you. Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
On Sunday after class?
Ara Puja after Sunday class. Have a good night.
Good night, Geshe. Thank you.
Good study, you guys. Good. You said the Om the Lam Ram Chamo.